the Mann Co Store. Although a very scarce topic to talk about for a YouTube video, it's been discussed behind the scenes. In Steam forums and Reddit threads, people always talk about the Mann Co Store for one prime reason, and that's Valve's very concerning prices for an item. Let's take for example the Righteous Bison. The Righteous Bison's price in the Mann Co Store is $7.49 in US currency, and if you were to buy the Righteous Bison for a scrap on scrap.tf, you can essentially buy 749 Righteous Bisons for that price from the Mann Co Store. But it doesn't stop there. If you were to look at the Uber update bundle, which includes 22 weapons, 10 craftable hats, and 2 taunts, will rack you about $100. Ooh, I can already hear my wallet cry in agony. And of course the list goes on. But before you go on and tell me that the prices for these items are ridiculous, there are actual reasons why Valve made it these prices. Valve was never careless on the prices they made. You have to take some things under some consideration. Point number 1, was it a community made item? When Valve releases an item and the item is community made, Valve must share its profits to the item developers themselves, which means that the prices must be fixated so that Valve and the community developers get their fair share. Point number 2, did the item have to be promoted or advertised? Looking back at the Righteous Bison, the reason why the Bison is worth so much is that Valve developed countless advertisements in the form of posters trying to sell the weapon. Advertisements by their own cost a lot of money to make and therefore must increase the price of the item to compensate for the money lost from advertisements. This information can be interpreted as a good thing, and here's why. If you were someone who bought a Brotherhood of Arms for $10 US off the Mann Co Store, most of the money supports Valve and more importantly supports the item creators, and this support could lead to more TF2 item content being made. All in all, it shows that you support the team of the game and the people who has the passion to make the content. Now, with all this information in mind, the Mann Co Store is no longer a reliable place to get what you need. Granted, not every item. We as a community formulated our own rules and guidelines on what a price of an item should be based on common ground and mutual understanding. And over time, an item will eventually lose its value. If you were to check the price of the Righteous Bison when it first came out, it probably would be significantly more than what it is now. And from this, there is a disconnect from the Mann Co prices and the trading prices. So what is the Mann Co Store now? I mean, it's outdated, man. The Mann Co Store was never able to adjust to the prices of today. Back then, it was really a stepping stone for TF2, but like I said, with the modern prices and the Steam market now being a thing, the Mann Co Store is in a very messy state. Very limited items are worth buying there without being ripped off tremendously. Now, when there comes a problem, there must be some sort of solution. Well, there ain't no solution. Roll them credits. I'm out of here. Boy! The best solution I will probably hear is just simply reduce the prices corresponding to the trading prices, right? I mean, all you have to do is just simply put no. Valve put the prices the way they are in order to make profit. Valve can only reduce the price so much to a point where if they would go any lower, they would lose money. Same can be applied to the community contributors who make the items. If they're earning substantially less from Valve shares if they continually reduce the price, what's the point? So the prices are in Valve limbo. There's nothing we can do but sway Valve and let Valve decide on what they want to do with the current prices. However, I do have an idea on how to possibly revive or make people start buying from the Mann Co Store once more. Let's look at the Prinny Machete and the Prinny Hat. Both items you can only buy at the Mann Co Store. That's it, Mann Co exclusive hats. Every once in a while, when there's an update that releases a bulk of new hats, make a couple of them only obtainable through the Mann Co Store. The idea of Mann Co exclusive items seem to work very well with the Prinny set. Why not attempt or try to experiment with new hats for future updates? Now, by all means, I'm not trying to convince you to stop buying from the Mann Co Store. It does have its positives. If you're not willing to go through the trading process to get what you need, the Mann Co Store is right there for your convenience. And if you have the money to buy that rain blower for $5, I ain't stopping you. You do you, boo-boo. Should the Mann Co Store be changed or just be left alone? Let me hear some feedback down below. And yeah, that's about it. As always, thank you for watching, and I will see all of you in the next one. Talk to you later.